We are live, lads and lasses. We are live on YouTube. We are finally taken over by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, or PIF as it is. PCP Capital Partners, the Rubens. I put a video up last night about this, and I've got to say I am absolutely buzzing that we are finally going to be able to have a owner that can match the ambition of us Newcastle United fans. It is finally going to be absolutely amazing to support Newcastle United. It's always been one of them things when you support Newcastle, you know, you look at it and you're like, why do we always have to be downtrodden on? Why do we always have to be like that? And now we can be the best. We can be up at the top, and we finally have, you know, a glorious consortium that owns with that matches our ambition for what we see for our club, what we see for our future. And just like Jack Bruce saying there, yes, mate, yes, we finally have this takeover. After so long we have waited for this takeover to happen. 18 months. It's been going on for longer than that as well. Like I said in the video last night that I put up confirming the takeover happening. It's been going on for longer than that. You know, it's been going on for 4 years because Amanda Staveley's been trying to get this club for 4 years. Back in 2017 when she first went to the game for Newcastle versus Liverpool at St James's Park. She was there with her husband Gadassi as well, you know, and from that moment, like she said last night, you know, in an interview with quite a lot of media outlets, she's had a lot to do over the past 24 hours, you know, well, past 48 hours, to be honest. She's had a lot to do, and as has the rest of the consortium as well. And they're going to have a long road ahead of them, that's for sure. You know, it is going to be one of them things where it is going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. You know, like they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, we don't expect, you know, to be going straight for the Premier League title this season or in the next season. But they have put out the plans, and they have said, you know, that in 5 to 10 years, they want the Premier League title in Newcastle United's hands. They want the Premier League title to have black and white ribbons on it. Of course, I'm paraphrasing with the black and white ribbons, but that is basically what they are saying, that they want Newcastle United to be Premier League champions in 5 to 10 years. And that means for that to happen, that means they have to be competing at the top of the Premier League, the Champions League, you know, competing at the top of world football in 2 to 3 years. So that is a very quick plan. They're obviously going to throw money at it, you know, but they do have to, like quite a few people have been saying, keep within the FFP guidelines. We do not want to be getting sanctioned fines here, but this is absolutely flipping amazing for us Newcastle United fans. I have supported Newcastle United since I was born in 1990. You know, I was about 6 years old when Newcastle United's entertainers, Kevin Keegan's entertainers, were rocking the 90s against Manchester United. I was 6 years old at that time. I've witnessed, you know, 2 FA Cup finals in my lifetime. You know, both losses for us Newcastle United fans, and heartache as well. I've witnessed 2 relegations under Mike Ashley's era, and we shouldn't have to go with that anymore. We shouldn't have to deal with that anymore. We now finally have a owner that matches our ambition, and I have got to say, it is absolutely fantastic. I'll put the link in the chat if you want to get in on it and get in on this live stream and this celebration, and this is going to be absolutely momentous. Imagine the players that are going to be rocking up to St James's Park wearing the black and white. They're already talking about Antonio Conte being Newcastle United manager. That is a hell of a step up from the likes of Steve Cabbage Bruce. And to talk about Cabbage Bruce as well, did you hear what they said, man, about his compensation? No wonder Mike Ashley never paid it. 8 million compensation for a guy that has barely done anything for Newcastle United in his time being here. He's spent 3 seasons out there, and he has completely and utterly turned this club into an absolute disgrace. It is finally time to get rid of him. It's now a bright black and white future, which is something I have been saying for quite a while now. It is what we want to see. We want to see the absolutely glorious moments of Newcastle in Champions League nights at St James's Park. They are a long way away, unfortunately, but we will get there in time. And I've got to say, you know, it is going to be absolutely amazing. We'll have a look at some of the comments here. We've got Jack Brew saying buzzing. Absolutely, mate. Everybody is. It's absolutely amazing. I still can't believe it's happened, to be honest. That is how amazing it is. Who would have thought, you know, when we were playing that game against Wolves, that would be the last game in the Mike Ashley 14-year dictatorship? Who would have thought it? Who would have thought that, you know, the last goal ever scored in Mike Ashley's dictatorship of Newcastle United would be scored by Jeff Hendrick, of all people? It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But we're going to be living it. We're going to be living this dream. And this is going to be absolutely fucking fantastic. Let's look at Joe Weldon's comments. Hiya, Joe, mate. Welcome to the stream. You're exactly. Hi, mate. Rich club now, mate. Exactly. We're going to win the World Cup. I don't know if it's that much Jack Groom, but, mate, that would be crazy. Obviously, we can't win the World Cup, but we'll take the next best thing to that, and that is the Premier League title and a Champions League title. Hell, I would love to see Newcastle United win the treble, but we'll get to that within time. It's not going to all happen straight away, obviously, but we will get there eventually. Of course, again, another comment from Jack Brew. We deserve this. We've been through hell. All eyes on the future now. Exactly. All eyes on the future now. We'll go on from here with a absolutely amazing ownership that really matches their ambitions as well. And I know I keep saying that, but it's so true. You know, this ownership from PIF, PCP and the Rubens, they absolutely match our ambitions. You just look at the way, you know, Amanda Stavely is talking on the interviews. The fact that she went past the media at Jesmond, in a hotel in Jesmond. She walked past the media to walk to Holly, a Newcastle United fan who has done quite a lot in these past months for Newcastle United, going all the way down to London and organising a protest at the age of 16. I had the privilege, of course, of having Holly come on the channel and, of course, promote that protest down in London. And I absolutely appreciate every single second of Holly coming on the channel, of course, as well, and promoting that protest down in London. And that's another thing that we won't have to do, lads. No more, and lasses as well, no more protests anymore. No more protests. This is a bright future for this club. Finally, we can do what we've always wanted to do. Finally, we can move forward and be able to be the club that we always wanted to be. Yes, you know, in the 90s, we were absolutely dominant with Kevin Keegan in the Entertainers. In the noughties, we had Bobby's Knights, you know, and yes, we had Freddie Shepherd and Sir John Hall, you know, is the owners of the club at that point. But I do respect what they did for the club at the time. But even at that point in time, you know, they still didn't have the money to match the ambition of us Newcastle United fans, the ambition of what this club can be. 52,000 fans rocking into St James's Park every single week, even when we're down in the Championship, shows you exactly what this club is. Last night at St James's Park, absolutely stored off. Newcastle fans celebrating well into the early morning. You know, absolutely crazy. It was like we'd won the Premier League last night. That was how crazy it was. You know, how crazy that us Newcastle United fans can be. That shows you the passion that we have for our club. It shows you what, you know, this club means to us Newcastle United fans. And finally, we have an owner or owners that, you know, finally get what it means. You know, what this club means to this area. When Newcastle United's doing well, Newcastle is doing well. The North East is doing well. You know, this is what it's all about. This entire region revolves around football. And I've said it many, many times, you know, before on my channel. I've said it many times before that this is what this club is all about. You know, this is what it's about. This is what the region's about. It's about football. You know, when football's good, the region's working. And that is what these owners get. You know, this is what Amanda Staveley gets. She's a northern lass. She's a northeastern lass as well. She knows, you know, what it's like to support a club like Newcastle United. You know, she knows it. And this is what we need. You know, we needed these owners to come in. These are the people we need. And it is just absolutely fantastic that we finally have them in the door. We'll look at a few more comments here. We've got Lee Taylor. You're going to the Spurs match, mate. I can't, unfortunately, mate. It's a complete a sellout. Which just shows you again, you know, how amazing this takeover really is. It's an absolute sellout for that game. It sold like hotcakes within the moments of them saying that the takeover was done. That was it. It was gone. The tickets were over, and I think it's going to be like that for quite a while, you know. And it's going to go back to the glory days, you know, when there was ticket waiting lists for 3, 4, even 5 years, you know, to get a season ticket at Newcastle United. That is what we're going back to, and it is absolutely going to be absolutely amazing. I just can't believe any of it. It's absolutely crazy. You know, I'm still pinching myself now. The fact that this has went through. I was always positive about it. You know, to a degree, I was, like most Newcastle fans. I will hold my hands up. You know, when that point came, you know, where it did look like it wasn't going to happen, you know, I was a little skeptical. I will hold my hands up to that. I'm not going to say 100% that I was positive right the way through. I will hold my hands up and say that at that point, you know, when it did look like it was going to be game over and we weren't going to get that takeover, you know, I was pretty skeptic and very depressed at it. But now that we have this takeover, you know, it's absolutely amazing. We can be happy. We can finally be the team that we want to be, you know, and it's not all about money. It's about winning the trophies. It's about, you know, supporting the club, having a club that tries instead of a club that doesn't, like we had under that scrupulous fat dictator that will never ever be mentioned again by our fan base. In probably the next time he ever does get mentioned will be the day that he actually dies, unless he goes and buys, you know, in a club in the EFL, or he goes buys a club in Scotland. I don't think he'd buy a club in the Premier League, to be honest, but there's been talk that he could go and buy a club down in the EFL. It would be hilarious to see him go down the road to our disgusting neighbours down in the lower leagues and, of course, go and buy them. And I'm sure they would probably openly welcome him in, to be honest, as well, because, you know, he would get them at the Premier League at the very least. Look at another comment here from Lee Taylor. Conte doesn't want the job. I would absolutely love Conte to come in, you know, and be the Newcastle United manager, but whoever comes in, they're going to have a hell of a job on their hands, because this is going to be a massive, massive project. And I'm sure a lot of managers out there, even managers right now, if very top jobs in the game, will be licking their lips and rubbing their hands at the expectation, you know, of being able to get in there get their hands dirty on a project like this. Nobody has ever been able to have funds of this caliber in football before, or in any sport, to be honest, before, and it's going to be absolutely, crazy. There's going to be so many people that will want to take this job, and I don't know where you'll have got that from. That Conte doesn't want the job, mate. I haven't actually seen anything about that yet, but I will look at it after this live stream and see what I can find out, and if there's anything, then I will make a video on it going forward. But we'll have to wait and see at the moment. Steve Bruce and his coaching staff will cost $8 million to get rid of it. Absolutely ridiculous. Exactly like I just said, it's crazy. No wonder Mike Ashley didn't want to get rid of him. No wonder he didn't want to get rid of him. With that kind of compensation fee, that is absolutely ludicrous. That a guy, like that, will cost $8 million to get rid of, when he couldn't even, get a bloody dinner, never mind a win for Newcastle United. It's absolutely crazy that I want to see a full team of homegrown talent instead of foreign players and give the club an identity. Obviously, mate, we would love to see 11 Geordies on the field, but we do know, that it's probably going to be more along the lines of a few Geordies here and there, the ones that obviously are good enough to play in the team. And of course, then there is going to be foreign players coming in. I would expect quite a few of big names in football coming in Newcastle United now. A lot of the super agents, like George Mendes, even Paul Pogba's agent, which I can't remember his name at the moment. But even him, they're all going to be ringing up Newcastle United. They're all going to want to be having their players playing in the black and white stripes, and obviously for the money reasons. But that, do we care about that? Do we really care? As long as Newcastle United are performing well on the pitch, are winning the trophies, and doing what us fans have always wanted the team to do, which is win games. That is the main goal of a football club, is to go out there, perform, and win games and entertain fans. And that is what this, consortium are going to do for this club, is going to do for Newcastle United. And we are going to absolutely love every minute of it. Especially, I'm definitely going to love every minute of it. My father's going to love every minute of it. My brother's going to love every minute of it. We've had to support Newcastle United for a very, very long time. And we've had to endure heartache and misery on so many occasions when it looked like Newcastle were going to be winning and were going to be the victors. Look at the 90s, like I say, under Keegan, we could have won back-to-back Premier League titles if not for dodgy goings on in the background, 3 a.m. meetings and all that. We could have won two FA Cups, back-to-back, one against Man U, one against Arsenal, if again not for dodgy decisions and stupid, decisions as well. Silly managers being put in place and silly decisions at boardroom level and all that stuff. That's all now gone. That is now gone, and we are finally back on an even keel. Some might say more than an even keel, when you look at how much this consortium really has. It was said last night that, before they took over the club, that it was 320 billion, that they had. But now the story's coming out saying that they've got 700 billion, to back them. They've got 700 billion. That is crazy money when you look at the likes of Manchester City, who are on 23-point-odd billion. 700 billion, and is absolutely mental. It's absolutely mental money. Nobody has that. No sports franchise out there has that kind of money, and that is why, Newcastle are the richest sports franchise in the world, and it brings me great flipping pleasure to be able to say that Newcastle United are the richest sports franchise in the world. It is absolutely amazing. Look at some more comments here. They're flying in fast. I'll try to get through quite a few of them. We've got another one from Jack Brew. Brendan Rodgers being mentioned as a possible new manager. I think it would cost money, mate, to get Brendan Rodgers out of his contract. Obviously, we've got quite a lot of it. But, you know, when you've got the likes of Conte out there, you know, who's free, he's a really good manager. He's had Premier League experience being the manager of Chelsea. You know, he won a Premier League title. He's won the Serie A title recently, you know, before he decided to step away from Inter Milan because of what was going on there, because the owners didn't want to keep the likes of Romelu Lukaku. They were selling off their players, you know, and that shows to me, you know, that Conte is a man that, you know, prides himself on doing the best for what he can, you know, in a club, and he would be the guy forward for me. Definitely, I would go with Antonio Conte. Brendan Rodgers, you know, we've seen him. He went up to Scotland and he managed Celtic, you know, up there. He did well for himself up in Scotland after, of course, managing Swansea and Liverpool in the Premier League. And, you know, if he comes in, if Brendan Rodgers comes in, you know, then fair be it. You know, everybody deserves a chance. But for me, it would be Antonio Conte. And I know there's going to be quite a few people that will probably have different opinions as well. And I fully agree, you know, with your opinions. But for me, the man is definitely Conte to take Newcastle United forward. Look, another comment here from Joe Weldon. If Newcastle wasn't a team, who would you go to? If Newcastle wasn't a team, who would you go to? I don't quite understand that question, Joe, mate. Can you put it back in? Or you're saying if I was a manager, who would I go to? Newcastle United. Obviously, you know, that is the place to be right now. So much money, so much ability to be able to just build a project there. Something, you know, that we heard Rafa Benitez talk about, you know, when he was here for the 3 years. You know, he wanted to build a project, and I'm sure Rafa is absolutely kicking himself right now, you know, that he didn't hold out for this Newcastle United takeover to go through, you know, because he could have been part of this project, especially with the links of Amanda Staveley, you know, being a very big fan of Rafa Benitez. Of course, the links that have come out as well about Frank McFarlane, who used to be at Liverpool as a chief scout. He's been all over the place, and he's coming in on a temporary role from what I've picked up from the news today. He is going to be coming in on a temporary role. He was there yesterday with the consortium as well, so he's going to be coming in on a temporary role, of course, going around scouting for players and scouting for talent, you know, to come to this club. And that is going to be another amazing thing, you know, to have somebody with the experience that Frank McFarlane has had, you know, at the likes of Liverpool. He's been up at many different areas, many different clubs, and he's a very experienced guy, and I'm sure he's going to know what is needed to take this club forward. But of course, he is only a temporary person in the job at the moment. There will be others coming in as well. Look at Wilma as well here, who is saying, I've heard Steven Gerrard's favourite job. Crazy to think we were talking about the next Sunderland, Portsmouth and Sunderland and Leeds to the biggest club in the world overnight. Bloody mental. Exactly. You know, that's what I'm saying. You know, we're just talking about trying to get our first win of the season, you know, and now all of a sudden, you know, in the last 48 hours, it's went from talking about trying to get our first win of the season to now suddenly, you know, Kylian Mbappe could be coming through the door. Obviously, that's a joke, but, you know, it's possible now. You know, it's not so much of a daydream anymore, you know. It's actually possible that we can bring in a player like Kylian Mbappe if we wanted. Even Haaland, you know, from Dortmund, we could bring these players in if we wanted now. And that is the absolute amazing feeling, you know, that you can get from this, is that we can now bring them kinds of players into Newcastle United, you know. Remember the days when you know, Newcastle used to bring in players like David Ginola, Tino Asprilla, Les Ferdinand, David Barry, Gary Speed, Rob Lee, you know, Laurent Robert, Alan Shearer for 15 million, world record fee at the time. You know, we're finally going to be able to do that again. You know, and it's been a long, long time coming that this has been on the horizon, you know, and it's so fitting that, you know, PIF, the biggest, wealthiest company in the world, you know, has bought Newcastle United alongside Amanda Safely Gaddafi and the Rubens. You know, finally we have that owner or owners, you know, that can match our ambition. I know I've said that already quite a few times, but it's just trying to, you know, process this in your mind that, you know, we're just talking about trying to get our first win of the season after 7 games in, no wins, you know, and now we're talking about the likes of Antonio Conte, Zinedine Zidane, Kylian Mbappe, Haaland, you know, we're talking about all these world-class players, you know, managers that were well out of our grasp. And now, you know, anything is possible. We can get these kinds of people to come to our club, come to the Northeast. And, you know, there's the likes of Simon Jordan on TalkSport. There's the likes of Cundy on TalkSport as well. And they're all saying, you know, why would any of these players come to the Northeast? Why would any of these players, you know, want to come to Newcastle United? Why would they want to go to the Northeast of England? Because it's cold, it's damp, it's wet, you know. Why would they want to come here? You know, look at it. Look at it. Why wouldn't they? You know, why wouldn't they want to come to Newcastle United? This is a project. This is a chance, you know, to be part of something amazing. The last time we ever won something of note was 1969. You know, who wouldn't want to be a player, you know, playing in the black and white stripes in front of 52,000 Newcastle United fans, 52,000 Geordies at St. James's Park, you know, and who wouldn't want to be a part of that team and a part of history, a part of picking up the first major title for a club that hasn't won anything since 1969. Who wouldn't want to be part of that? You know, and the talk about the likes of why would we get these kinds of players? Why would these players want to come to Newcastle United? Ask yourself, you know, look at the likes of Tino Asprilla, Ginola, you know, look at the likes of these players. These came to Newcastle United. You know, so why won't the likes of Kylian Mbappe want to come here? Haaland want to come here? You know, why wouldn't Antonio Conte want to come manage it with, or Zidane come manage with? You know, why wouldn't these people want to do it? You know, it's just bitterness from the likes of Simon Jordan, Cundy. You know, we're going to get it quite a lot, and we're just going to have to raise above it. You know, I'm sure, like, Man City and Chelsea had to, you know, when they got their takeover, and of course our takeover's on a completely different level, not being big-headed here, of course, but our takeover's on a completely different level to what their takeovers were. You know, let's not forget this is 700 billion, you know, to the likes of Manchester City, whose owners have 23-point-odd billion. You know, it's a completely different level. We'll look at some more comments here. Hi, hope you're all right, mate. Can't believe we've done it. Exactly, Wolf, mate. I can't believe it. But we're finally being able to talk about this for real. We're finally being able to talk about this, you know, and look at it from an actual perspective instead of, you know, looking at this and being a daydream, being just a fantasy thing. You know, it's finally real, so we can talk about it now for real. And that is absolutely amazing. You know, I can't believe that last night, you know, I had the chance to say them beautiful, beautiful words of Newcastle United's takeover is complete. And that is absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure, you know, Keith Downey absolutely loved seeing that on Sky Sports News. He got choked up as well, you know, and he's not even a Newcastle United fan, but to me, you know, he'll have a lot of respect from us Newcastle United fans, you know, for what he's done for this club in the reporting over the years. I know it's his job at the end of the day, but there's so much work that's went into reporting on something of this magnitude. That is absolutely dedication, to craft right there, and to the likes of Pete Graves as well. Absolutely amazing. He'll be buzzing about it, and I'm sure he's cracked open a couple of tins of Pecked Ham by now as well, and I'm sure he's cracked open a few bottles of Newcastle brown ale as well, and celebrated this beautiful takeover. To the likes of Keith Patterson as well, who will be on Steve Rafe's channel for the Fab Four tonight, which I will be watching that, and I'm sure quite a few Newcastle United fans will be as well, and sending their well dones and congratulations and thanks to, of course, Sir Keith Patterson, as he's been knighted by us Newcastle United fans for what he's done for this club. Like he said, he was just an ordinary Newcastle United fan. He's seen something that wasn't right, he knew about it as well, with it being anti-competition. He stepped in there and he did what was right. He did, what any of us Newcastle United fans would have done if we had the money and the experience, to do it. And he well and truly deserves every ounce of respect. And I'm sure no matter what pub it is in Newcastle, or what pub it is where there's a Geordie, I'm sure as soon as Keith Patterson walks through the door, he'll be getting a pint from that person, definitely. He won't have to ever buy a pint again in Newcastle neither, I'm sure about that. So well done, to Keith Patterson. Thanks, Keith Patterson, for doing what you've done for the club. And, like I say, thanks to all them people that protested over the past 14 years, and have been there, getting the back for the Newcastle United fans and pushing, for get this club back to where we need to be. We'll look at some more comments here as well. We've got Jack Bruin again. And of course, War Flags are coming back. They've got a fundraiser up and running for new flags. I've seen that as well. That is going to be absolutely amazing. Always loved the War Flags displays at St James's Park, and it's nice to see, that now that the fat owner has finally left the building, we now can have War Flags come back and show us them beautiful flag displays once again. I'm sure there'll be the likes of Lisa's flags as well, probably coming back and joining in on the action as well. The world is our oyster, exactly the world is our oyster. Shearer and Keegan are in line to become ambassadors of the club. This all sounds like a dream. It's not, mate. It's not a dream. Alan Shearer and Kevin Keegan are in line. They've said they want to come back. They said they want to be ambassadors of this club, and they want to go out there and spread the word of Newcastle United, spread the word of the Black and White Army, and we are finally back where we belong. Looking at some more comments here. They're flying in these comments. I'll try and get through quite a few of them as I can. I do apologise that I am a little bit slow on the comments. St James's Park atmosphere will be loud and exciting. Just wait till the Spurs game, mate. It's absolutely going to be immense, that game. The first game under the new owners. Obviously we won't have the finished article yet because it is going to take time, like I did say earlier on in the video, but it is going to be absolutely mental. We are going to have an absolutely amazing atmosphere for that game, and hopefully, we can get a result to go with it as well. We've got Fabio Colaccini. I don't know if it's going to be the real Colaccini or not, but who knows? Crazier things have happened, and there's no other club in the world that would have celebrated a takeover like that last night. Exactly, Fab, mate, exactly. Had to kick the celebrations off last night with a brown ale. Well said. Same here. Got out the brown ale and celebrated that takeover in style with the Geordie champagne. That is the way to celebrate something as glorious as this takeover. We've got another comment here from Fab again. Black and white shirts back in the stands with the best atmosphere in the world. It's going to be like the 90s and early 2000s all over again. Exactly. That is going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be absolutely crazy. But we are going to be on one hell of a wild ride. We've been on a hell of a wild ride under the previous owner, but it was in a wrong way. This way is going to be one hell of a wild ride in a good way and in a very amazing way. It's going to be absolutely crazy, but we're going to enjoy every single minute of it. And hopefully, anybody that does follow the channel will follow the path alongside watching this channel and, hitting that subscribe button to make sure that you never miss, a moment of the action from my point of view of this absolutely amazing takeover. We've got Conte, me out. Antonio Conte would turn down becoming Newcastle boss for the club in better position to fight for the Premier League title. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Hopefully, we can get the likes of a Conte in or somebody of that. We'll have to see what happens with that. But I haven't really looked at the moment with doing this live stream right now. I haven't really looked at the news going around. But if Conte has turned it down, then I'm sure there's other managers out there that we can get. At the end of the day, we are the richest club in the world. So, anything is possible now for this absolutely amazing club. Homegrown talent doesn't mean Geordie's through, Cole. You can have the likes of James Ward-Prowse, Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane, and the likes in that team as well. Exactly. Just going off of, the likes of homegrown talent as in Geordie's per se. But yeah, you can have the likes of Ward-Prowse, who is an amazing player. He would be great to have in a black and white shirt. He can bang in a free kick, and that's somebody that, you can always use in your arsenal. Jude Bellingham would be amazing as well. Harry Kane, he's getting on the other side of his career coming to an end, but, he'd still bang in quite a few goals for, and, I'd take him in a black and white shirt any day. He's a really good player, and, he's going to put in an effort, but, it's if he wants to come to Newcastle United or not as well, is, of course, the matter as well, because he is a Spurs fan at the end of the day. So, will he want to come to this club or not? It's up to him. But he would be an amazing signing, to see play in a black and white stripe. And hell, he wants to be Alan Shearer, why not be Alan Shearer at Alan Shearer's club, Newcastle? Why not wear the number 9 shirt for the black and white army and, break that record of Alan Shearer in the Premier League, which I don't think he's going to break. But, if he did break it, I would love to see him break it in black and white shirt. It would be amazing. Then we've got Belly81 Sports. What top player is going to come to Newcastle at this time with the training ground as shit as ours? There's League One teams but with better facilities than us. Like I said, Belly, mate, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen immediately. We're going to have to wait. Things like training facilities, things like the stadium being improved and all that stuff, all that is going to come within time. First things first is obviously the manager. We need to look at a manager that is going to be able to manage this set of players, manage the players that come in. We need to be looking at players on the field. What's the point in having amazing world-class state-of-the-art training facilities, state-of-the-art stadium? What's the point in having all that stuff if you've got an absolute garbage team playing on the field? And that's not no disrespect there whatsoever, to the current crop of Newcastle United players, but there is some players in there, that are absolutely bang average players and shouldn't even be wearing a black and white shirt, to be honest. The likes of Jeff Hendrick, John Joe Shelby, even Emil Kraft, he's a good player, but, is he of the calibre of what Newcastle United should be? Is he at that calibre? He can put in a good shift here and there, but, he's not very consistent. The same with John Joe Shelby, the same with, Jeff Hendrick. They're not consistent players. They don't always put in good performances. And, that's the first goal I've seen Jeff Hendrick score since he came at the club last season, and he scored that goal in the game against, I think it was in the game against West Ham. it's been crazy. So it's just looking at what happens first. Obviously, the training facilities, like I say, in the stadium, are all going to be at the back end of their minds, and they're going to be looking at the manager first. They're going to be looking at the players first, because that is the way forward. You've got to have a good playing team, before you start looking at the other things like the infrastructure at the club, like the training ground and all that. That is at the back end of the plan in my eyes. Obviously, we'll have to see what, the consortium think, but in my eyes, training ground and the stadium and all that at the back end of a plan, the first things first should be the players playing out there on the field. That should be the first thing that we'll look at to improve at this club. Moving on to another comment, we've got another regular here in Geordie. Greatest day in the history of our club. Hopefully we won't have to worry about heated balls anymore, because we will have a team that can compete with any club in the world. Nice. I see what you did there, Geordie, mate. The heated balls, that's an argument that I was bringing up quite a lot on the channel about the fact of the corruption around football, and the fact that, that there were heating balls, and it had been said in the papers as well that they were heating balls for the likes of the FA Cup, League Cup, when they were doing cup draws, they were heating the balls of teams like Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, and it was clear for everybody to see, that they were doing this stuff. So I see what you did there. Nicely done, mate. Moving on to another comment, again by Geordie. We've got another one after this as well from Geordie. And this one is, the world is our oyster. We can sign any manager and any players. No more Pardews and Steve Bruce's going forward. Exactly. And that is exactly what this is all about. We do not want the likes of a Steve Bruce or an Alan Pardew or a Sam Allardyce or a Steve McLaren or a John Carver. We do not want them kinds of people being at this club anymore. We won't be getting them kinds of people at this club anymore. It's going to be top of the top, the best of the best. And that is the way, it needs to be as well at Newcastle, because we have to have a manager that matches the fans' ambition. We have to have players that can match the fans' ambition. And of course, we have the owners that can match the ambition of us fans, and the ambition of what Newcastle United means. They get what it means, and we need the manager to also get what it means. We need the players to get what it means, and we do have a current crop at the moment of a couple of players here and there, that do get what it means to be Newcastle United. They do get what the fans feel, on a weekend when we clamber up that hill to the cathedral. That is St James's Park, and we'll clamber up them stadium steps and look down at the hallowed turf of St James's Park. And that's something, that Bobby Robson said when he was Newcastle United manager, is that small child that walks up them stadium steps with his father and looks down at the hallowed turf and, without doing anything, just falls in love with this great club. And there's going to be a lot more of fathers and sons and fathers and daughters and fathers and their children and families, in the Northeast coming back, supporting Newcastle. Ones that growing up, supporting Newcastle. And yes, we're going to have them people, like we see it Old Trafford, like we see at the Etihad, like we see at Anfield, Emirates, Stamford Bridge. There's going to be them travelling fans, the ones that don't really support Newcastle United, but they're just here because, it's a tourist hotspot. And, we are going to get them, obviously. That's something that comes with, the title of being the richest club in the world. That is something that comes with that title. Obviously, there's going to be tourist fans in the stadium. But, there's always going to be us diehard Newcastle United fans that have been here from the beginning, have been here from birth, and have been supporting the club through generations, and we're always going to have that to look at, Yes, there'll be a lot of people out there, saying to the likes of myself, you know, and other YouTubers out there that are Newcastle United YouTubers, you know, they'll be saying, well, you never supported Newcastle before the money came, or, you know, at the end of the day, we're no deep down ourselves, you know, we've supported this club through thick and thin, you know, through the hard times, through the high times, you know, and this is something that is, you know, our moment to shine, our moment to have the spotlight on us, and our moment, you know, that has been coming for a long, long time. You know, we're going to be at that great time, you know, where we can enjoy so much stuff. You know, it's just all about enjoying life now, enjoying the football, enjoying our beautiful club, you know, and enjoying the ride, enjoying, you know, this absolutely amazing takeover. You know, like Mike Ashley said, you know, he said Newcastle United fans have hit the lottery, and he's so right. We've hit the lottery. We've hit the lottery with this takeover, because this is the biggest takeover in the history of football. Yes, they might have not paid crazy money to get with, but they've paid 305 million for Newcastle United. That is an absolute bargain for Newcastle United. Not to mention the fact that they paid $1 billion to BN Sports to settle an argument about piracy. You know, that in itself shows how much they want us Newcastle United fans, how much they want this club, how much, you know, they have in respect for this area. And that, to me, you know, just screams a whole load of bright things for the future of this club. Look at some more comments here. I've got another comment from Jody. I think Joe is asking, if Newcastle wasn't a club, who would you support? Nobody. I wouldn't support anybody. I'd support just Newcastle for me. No other club comes close to Newcastle for me. You know, I would have me foreign clubs maybe, but in England, for me, you know, it's Newcastle United. Nobody else. You know, I'm not one of these people where, you know, we're seeing it with Leeds when they went down, you know, all them years ago, and all their fans jumped ship to the likes of Man United. I'm not one of these fans. You know, I wouldn't jump ship to a Manchester City or a Man United or a Liverpool or an Arsenal or a Tottenham or a Chelsea. You know, I wouldn't jump ship to any of them teams. For me, it's Newcastle United or nothing, you know, because I was born here. You know, I've grew up here in the Northeast, and I'll probably die here in the Northeast, you know, and that is me in a whole. You know, I'm a Newcastle United fan, born and bred, and I will always support Newcastle through thick and thin. And finally, all of these years, you know, of supporting Newcastle United has finally come to us and finally given us the greatest moment ever, you know, in this brilliant takeover, and a chance, you know, to show what this team can really, really do. We'll move on to another comment here. I love Newcastle. What all do, mate. What all do. It's absolutely mental. You know, only Newcastle could go from talking about getting the first win of the, trying to get the first win of the season, you know, to then being taken over by the richest company in the world. You know, only Newcastle could do that. That only could happen in Newcastle. And that is why we love this club so much. It's absolutely amazing. Oh my God, I thought this takeover would never happen. Happy tears, exactly. And that's what we're seeing last night. You know, we're seeing loads of Newcastle United fans hugging, crying, but for good reasons, you know, not for the reasons that we've had to have over the past 14 years. For good reasons we've seen with fans crying and celebrating, jumping all over, you know, hugging, kissing, just anybody, you know, to absolutely enjoy this moment. And finally, you know, we've gotten what we wanted. Finally, we've gotten this big, big moment to prove, you know, what Newcastle United is all about. We've got, I bet you are so excited, mate. I am. You can tell. I'm so excited. You know, I just can't wait for it all to get going. I can't wait to see, who starts coming through the door. I can't wait, to see Newcastle United lift with first major trophy. I can't wait to see it all, but it's all going to come in time. It's just a matter of time, a matter of waiting, and eventually it will come. And eventually it's going to be, absolutely amazing when it does come, because, in my lifetime, like I say, I was born 1990. I've never ever seen Newcastle United win anything major in my lifetime. I've seen we win the championship on 2 occasions, but we shouldn't have been there to begin with. Almost seen we win the FA Cup on 2 occasions, but falling at the last hurdle. Almost seen, of course, we're winning the Premier League back in the 90s on 2 occasions, falling on the last hurdle because of stupid 3 a.m. meetings. But now, we've got that chance of getting all that, and more to come for us Newcastle United fans, and it's going to be glorious. I could tell you that. We've got Jabba again with another comment. Feel like on cloud 9 and staying up there. Exactly. It just feels so glorious to be able to talk about this for real, and it not be a fantasy, not be just daydream, and that we're not going to wake up in the next couple of minutes, and it have happened. It's just glorious to know that it actually is real, in that we now are the richest club in the world, which is absolutely mental to say, but it's absolutely amazing to finally say, that is real. It's finally done. It's finally real. We've got Jabbar again. We are big city, big club, and not glory lovers like top 6. Exactly. We are Newcastle United. We've supported them through thick and thin, and it's our time to shine, and it's going to be so glorious when it does. It's going to be so glorious. Saudi-based. Welcome, mate, from Saudi Arabia. I hope you're absolutely buzzing over there in Saudi Arabia about this takeover. I'm sure you are. And, I hope you're absolutely loving it over there. I'm sure there's an absolutely amazing party going on. And welcome to the Black and White Army, welcome to Newcastle United. And it's going to be an amazing ride, but we're all going to enjoy it all at the same time. And it's going to be flipping fantastic. It's going to be absolutely amazing, this. We've got another SA, Newcastle, a big team. Exactly. 305 million for a club like Newcastle United is absolute bargain. It's an absolute bargain. And I'm sure the Saudis know that themselves, I'm sure the Saudis know that they've gotten an absolute bargain in Newcastle United here. Why go and buy somebody like Man United for 2-3 billion? You would have had to push a lot of money into that, and you wouldn't be getting anything really as good as what you're getting here at Newcastle United. You wouldn't have the fan base that this club has. And I'm not trying to, be disrespectful here in any way. If there is any fans of other clubs in this live stream, I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way, but I'm just saying, that Newcastle, we have a fan base, that is hardcore, a hardcore fan base, would literally follow Newcastle to the end of the earth and more. We are absolutely passionate about football here in the Northeast, and last night proved it, with how many Newcastle United fans were outside St James's Park celebrating well into the early morning, and the drinks were flowing. About 8:30, the 9 bar had to say, we're going to have to close, because us Newcastle United fans had drank it dry. It had been drunk dry. And that was 8:30, and there was still parties going on well into the morning. It like 1 a.m, and even longer. There was still parties going on at St James's Park for this takeover going through, and it's absolutely amazing. That just shows, with the Saudis looking at that, they know they've gotten the best club they could get for their money. They know they've gotten the best club possible, and they know they've got a bright future going forward with this team in this area. Moving on to Jabadoo again. I'm 33. I supported Newcastle United since I was 4 years old. Yeah, exactly, mate. It's a long time. And finally, all them years of supporting our local team, supporting our team, it's finally come good. And finally, we've been able to get the takeover that matches our ambition as a fan base. We're the best fan base in the world, I would say, and now we have a consortium in PIF, PCP, and the Rubens, that also match that ambition and know what it means, to be owners of Newcastle United. And their the constituents of the club, or custodians, sorry, to the club. My mind is all over the place today because I just can't believe, that this has happened. The custodians of the club, they've said it themselves. Amanda Staveley said it, that they're just custodians. They're here, to make the fans happy. They're here to do what's best for the club. They're going to listen to the fans. They're going to, give us a voice again, which is something, that we never ever had under the previous regime. But finally, we've got our voice back, and finally we're going to be able to, support our team again in the way we want to support our team. And it's just going to be absolutely amazing to do, as well. We've got Jack Brew again. Big up the Saudi Mags, bunch of lads. Great bunch of lads, exactly. The amazing bunch. There's some really good ones out there, of the Saudis, like Alderweireld. He has been supporting Newcastle United for a long time. He shows a lot of support to Newcastle. He's done a lot for Newcastle as well in protests. Even if he doesn't live in this country and he lives over in Saudi Arabia, he has done a lot. He's even come across on occasions, to do protests, and that just shows the passion and the excitement, and the love that he has for Newcastle United as well. Alderweireld, is another great guy, and it's great to have people like that, joining this fan base and joining this bright future for the club. We've got another comment again by Saudi. God bless Saudi Arabia. Yep, mate. Of course, there's a lot of people talking about the other side of this takeover, which I did cover a little bit in the video last night. But at the end of the day, it's not about the politics. It's not about anything like that. It's about the football, and it's always going to be about the football on this channel. I'm never going to talk about the politics side of things on the channel. At the end of the day, it's always going to be about football, and that's the way it should be as well. We should be looking at this from a football perspective, not from a political perspective, and it's just going to be absolutely amazing, and any of the haters out there that don't like it, you know what to do. Just don't watch, just flick it off. Don't watch it, At the end of the day, if you don't want to be part of it, then don't bother watching it, speaking on it or anything, At the end of the day, we don't care. We don't care what anybody is saying out there of the haters. We don't care about you. Just move aside, and let us enjoy our moment in the spotlight, because it's been so long, and we appreciate and, we deserve this moment, to be able to be at the top of the game. And it is going to take time to get there, but it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a hell of a ride. We've got another comment here. I hope not to see the signs of Sports Direct. I would expect that them signs would possibly be gone for the game against Spurs, but we'll see, I guess, when we play the game against Spurs, if them signs have gone out the stadium or not. But that's another thing, that we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that. But I'm sure, The ones around the ad boards, like on the stands and that, they'll probably be gone. Maybe the ones up on the stands, either side the Newcastle United, of course, and on the Gallagher, and that's probably going to be there maybe a little bit. Who knows? They might already be taking them down as I speak, you know. Hopefully they are, because they're an absolute eyesore, you know, and we don't want to see that at the club. And we definitely don't want to see that, you know, when we're playing our first game against Spurs under new ownership. You know, we want it to be fresh, we want it to be clean, and we want it to be all about the new owners and all about the future of the club, not the past of the club. We've got 11 viewers only, 5 likes. Hit the thumbs up button, folks. Cheers for that, Jack, mate. Yeah, that would be great if you could hit that thumbs up, please, as that does, of course, push the channel forward. You know, it does get the video out there. And of course, if you haven't done it yet as well, if you could please subscribe to the channel as well, that does show support to the channel. And I don't take any of it for granted. You know, at the end of the day, I appreciate everybody that does support the channel, does, you know, come on and contribute to the channel by coming on the channel in videos, or, you know, commenting to the channel. You know, I do get out there quite a bit, you know, and comment on the videos as well. So, you know, you can always expect us to be commenting, you know, back to any comments that come on the videos as well. So, you know, I do respect everybody that does support the channel and does show support as well. You know, it is appreciated, and I don't take any of it for granted. So, yeah, thanks for that, Jack Bruin. That would be great if you could hit the like button, everybody that is watching. 24 hours ago, Eddie Howe, Chris Wilder, or Graham Jones, who do you want as gaffer? Now Conte, Gerrard, or Zidane, who do you want as gaffer? Absolutely crazy what's happened this past week. Up the tune, exactly, mate. Well said. Should sack Bruce and KK the Takeover as manager? If it had have been back when, of course, Ashley took over, you know, back in 2007, I would have been all for KK coming in as the manager, you know, as he did do, you know. But Kevin Keegan's in his 70s now, you know. I'm shy he doesn't want to be standing on the dugout. He'd probably love to be standing on the dugout, you know, if he was younger. But he's 70 years old now, you know, and I'm sure he'd much rather take an ambassadorial role at the club, you know, go out there, spread the word of Newcastle United, you know, and support the club in that aspect, you know, instead of being on the sideline, you know, and trying to manage the team, you know. But I can see where you're going with that. It would be great to see KK as the manager, you know, but he is 70 years old now, and, you know, I think that unfortunately has sailed on Kevin Keegan being the manager of Newcastle United, you know, going forward. Looking at Sean Taylor's here, we are all now waiting for the announcement that Bruce is gone. That would be great to hear that announcement. That would be another great moment. We've already heard the announcement of Pennyfold gone for one. So that's great. You know, he went yesterday, and that's absolutely amazing that he is finally gone from the club as well. Look at another comment here. We've got Christine White. Christine Wright, sorry. Spurs fan here. Delighted for all you Newcastle fans. Long overdue. Good luck, guys, apart from against Spurs. Exactly, but we'll see what happens. You know, thanks for that from Christine Wright. You know, and, you know, we'll see what happens. You know, it's another one of them things. We just got to see what happens with it going forward. Like I say, we're not going to be the finished article come the game against Spurs anyway, because, of course, the transfer window isn't open, so we're not able to buy anybody yet. But it's going to be interesting, you know, come January when the transfer window does open, who we're going to buy, who's going to be coming through the doors in Newcastle. You know, it's going to be an interesting one to watch, and it's going to be absolutely crazy. I'm sure there's going to be loads of big names linked with we're going forward. Looking at another comment here from David, and Amoco would be a good sponsor. Yeah, I think they probably would go with Amoco, maybe Saudi Airlines as well. They're talking about quite a few different Saudi sponsorships that they could bring in. Of course, legal versions. We're not wanting to do anything that we've seen Man City do, where they blast in a 500 million sponsorship deal, which is completely and utterly destroying FFP rules right there. We don't want to be going down that kind of path, but I'm sure they'll be looking at bigger, better sponsorship deals to come in, with more money, as that's a great way, to push forward spending in the transfer window as well for FFP reasons. Looking at Jabba again here, NUFC legends are celebrating like Warsaw Bobby. Exactly. That's what I said on Wednesday, I believe it was. I had a picture of Newcastle Brown Ale up on my social media Twitter account, and I says this one is for, the likes of Warsaw Bobby, Gary Speed, and the rest of the Newcastle United legends that have passed, Newcastle fans as well that have passed. There's quite a few over the years that we've lost, and it's for them as well. They'll be celebrating up there in Geordie Heaven, I'm sure about that. And they'll be enjoying it from up there, watching down on this amazing journey, that we're about to go on. We've got one here from Paul Seals. So happy. Watch this space, exactly. We've got another one by Saudi again. Is all about football, my friend. Exactly. It's all about football. And that is what it should be about as well. It's all about football. Hit the like and share and subscribe to 100% Mags. Cheers, Jabba, for that. Really do appreciate the support from everybody as well towards the channel. Like I say, I don't take any of it for granted at all. I appreciate everybody that does support the channel. And I remember, when I started this channel 4 years ago, where it's at now, it's absolutely crazy, and well, it'll be, in the next 2 to 3 years, it's just unthinkable, Of course, we hit the 5-year anniversary next year, so that's going to be amazing, now that we also have a brand new owner, so that's going to be another amazing thing to look at as well. We've got Paul Sales again. Yes, we're going to be the best. Saudi again. We thank you for your respect. Yeah, fully respected, mate. Like I say, everybody's welcome here. Be it Man United fans, Arsenal fans, any of the top 6, any team, no matter who it is, any fan is welcome on this channel, to come and have a say. If you're respectful, you get respect back, and if you're not respectful, then basically, you're just going to get ignored. You're just going to make yourself look like a fool, and that's just, my prerogative, to be honest. If you give us respect, then you're going to get respect back. If you don't, then you're just going to be ignored and you're just going to end up looking like an absolute fool, but fully respect everybody, mate. Fully respect. And, it's my pleasure at the end of the day to give out that respect, of course, to the likes of yourself and so many people that have commented in this chat already, we'd love to see Allegri come in. He's at Juventus at the minute, Paul, mate, but it would be nice to see somebody like that come in. Like I say, we'll have to see what happens with the manager, because we still haven't gotten any concrete news on who's going to be the manager going forward. But they have said, that Steve Bruce could be on the way out, and more than likely will be on the way out as well, with that 8 million compensation fee. I'm sure he's going to be laughing all the way to the bank with that one, or all the way back down to the northwest anyway, to his farm down there. subscribe to the channel. See you soon. Cheers, mate. Cheers for that. See you soon. Who would you like the club to buy first? James Ward would be my favourite to sign and build a team up with quality players. Can't see us going out and getting Mbappe in January. No, that's just a fantasy one, mate, from me, to be honest. That would be absolutely crazy if we did go out and buy Mbappe in January. But no, I'd be probably the same as yourself. I'd probably go and look at the likes of James Ward-Prowse, Jude Bellingham, and Diddy at Leicester City. Probably look at players like that. Loads and loads of different players out there that you can say, Boubacar Kamara, somebody that we looked at in that window just gone, we can now afford him, obviously. So he would be a player that would like to see wearing a black and white shirt going into next season, or even, come January. I would like him to see him in a black and white shirt. And, it's going to be crazy. Obviously, there's so many players that you could mention that would be nice to be seen playing for Newcastle, but, that's for another time and another video down the line, when that time comes, when we start talking about who can we get into the club, who can we sign, and like I say, James Ward-Prowse would be a great one, and Didi, Boubacar Kamara, and all the players like that. That would be my choice. Obviously, Mbappe would be amazing, but, I don't know if we're going to be able to get a player like that, this quick. I don't know if that's going to be possible or not, but crazier things have happened. Hell, we've gotten the takeover, and that's crazy in itself. Moving on to another comment here, and we've got Paul again. We're just going to be great. Exactly. I think the players will be pushing more forward to be in the team. Exactly. They'll be putting more effort in now. Now that that their job could be up for question. Their position in the team could be up for question, especially with the likes of January. Not that far around the corner, and who knows who could be coming in. They've already said that they want to make some marquee signings, and that in itself, screams that there could be some really good players coming through the doors in January, and, who's going to be on the chopping block of this current selection of players that are in the team at the moment. Moving on from that, we're going to win. I don't think that's possible, mate. I think we will win stuff, but like I say, it is going to take a while. It is going to take some time, before we eventually do win something. Hell, look at Manchester City. They took a while before they won anything. I think it was 3 years or something before they won a cup, and then it was like 4 years or something before they won the league. It took them a time, it took them some time to get there. But, that's the thing. It's not going to happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say, and it is going to take time. But we will get there eventually, and I'm sure we will win something under these new owners. It may be a few years, but we have our eyes on the prize to be the best, to be the team of yesteryear. Yeah, exactly. Party time there again from Paul Sales. That one, of course, the last one was from Splat 1000. And then we've got Jody again with another one. I take a mid-table finish, pushing for top 10 this season. A good FA Cup run. We've seen Bruce get us to the quarterfinals, so why can't we build on that? Exactly. And I'm sure the Saudis, and Zaman Stavely and the Rubens will be looking at that as well, with the FA Cup still fully open, for what to go for. I'm sure they'll be giving a good look towards pushing hard through that. And hell, who knows, maybe we could win the FA Cup in the first season under new owners. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. as we go forward. There's a few great players' contracts running out this season, so we could jump in and try and sort deals out with them and build for the next season. Exactly, you've got the likes of Kylian Mbappe's contract is running out. Paul Pogba's contract's running out at Man United as well. There's quite a few other players' contracts running out, so we could sign any of them players up, on a free going into the next season, and that would give a good base to work from going forward. But like you say, there's quite a few players, top players' contracts going out, and we could use them going forward in the next season. We've got another comment here from Jabba again. Well, take anyone, even my left toe, better than Bruce. Exactly. Anybody's better than Bruce. As long as we get a manager in that, is going to see this project for what it is. It's going to see the ambition of the owners. It's going to see the ambition of the fans, most importantly. And, he's going to want to do the job, for the pure enjoyment of it as well. Because it's going to be an enjoying ride, for any manager out there. I'm sure they're all licking their lips at the prospect of possibly getting their hands on a war chest as big as PIF are willing to give, to any manager that comes and takes on this massive project here at Newcastle. We'll move on to the next comment from Paul Sales. We're the best club in the world. Exactly. Don't know where you got 700 billion from, more like 300 billion. Was a post on the net, I believe it was Sky Sports or BBC Sport, and it was last night, and they were talking about it, and they said that PIF actually have 700 billion, not 320 billion. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised because they're making money right, left, and centre, every single second, minute, hour, of the day. They're always making money. They've got their hands in a lot of pies. They own a lot of shares in a lot of different companies. And I wouldn't be surprised, if it was, if it had went from 320 billion to 700 billion, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised because, like I say, this is PIF, this is the world's best, the world's richest company in the world, and they now own Newcastle United, and that, to me, is absolutely amazing. We've got another comment here from Fab. 4-3-3, Ward-Prowse and Danny van der Beek in the midfield with either Almiron or Willock in front of them. It would be a good formation. I've got to say, it would be a very good formation. And, we'll have to wait and see. Like I say, we can't really say at the moment, who's going to be playing for Newcastle United come next season, who's going to be playing for come January, because it's a long time. There's a lot of planning got to be done behind the scenes from this new consortium. And, Amanda Staveley said that herself in a lot of interviews that she's had over the past 48 hours. She said it's a long prospect, a long build. It's going to take some time. But they do want Newcastle to be competing, and they want Newcastle to win the title in 5 to 10 years' time, and that means that we've got to be competing in about 2 to 3 years' time. So it just shows how far ahead they want to be, with this club going forward. Moving on to the next comment, and we've got Channel Right. I think we should let Bruce lead the team out one more time before we bring in a new manager. After all, he is a fan, and Geordie, whatever one thinks of him. I wouldn't give Steve Bruce the chance of taking Newcastle United out for one last game. At the end of the day, his record speaks for itself. That he's not the guy to take this club forward. And I've said it, I said it in the review of the game against Wolves, where we lost 2-1, he's not the guy to take Newcastle United forward. I've been saying it, since he came at the club as well. And that's not because he's a Newcastle. That's not because, he was a manager of Sunderland, That's not because he managed Sunderland at all. You just have to look at his record, as a manager over his career. 999 games as a manager, and he hasn't won anything major in that time. He hasn't done anything major in that time. And, looking at his record at Newcastle, it just speaks massive volumes that he is not the guy to take this club forward. And I get where you're coming from. Yes, a lot of people say he's a Geordie, but if you look at what he said, in the fact of this takeover is good for them, not good for us. If he was a Geordie, would he want to say good for them? He'd be saying good for us. At the end of the day, the guy has had his chance, 999 games in a managerial career, and his record speaks for itself. It's not been great. He's not done anything for the clubs that he's been at. He's never bettered any of them clubs in his career. And, for me, I wouldn't give him the chance to manage this one last game, which would be his 1000th game as well. I wouldn't give him that chance, manage that game against Tottenham. We need to be looking at this, and enjoying the occasion against Spurs. That match against Spurs, of course, being the first one under new ownership, and we don't want to be looking at somebody in negativity from somebody like Steve Bruce, who came in under the old regime, and is more than likely, going to put a negative feel around the stadium on a day, when I'm sure Amanda Staveley, Gaddafi, in the consortium in a whole will want fans, being positive, being happy, enjoying it, that there's a new owner now in charge and we've got a chance to push forward, as a club, and a chance to actually be the team that we want to be, the team that we should be, a team that matches the fans' ambition of this club. And, we don't want somebody like Steve Bruce, standing on the sideline and putting a negative spin on that, So for me, I wouldn't give him the opportunity of managing that last game against Spurs or that game against Spurs. I wouldn't give him that opportunity, in my opinion. But, like I say, everybody's entitled to their opinions at the end of the day. And I fully appreciate your opinion in the fact that, like you say, a lot of people say he's a Geordie. For me, I don't see him as a Geordie with the way he's went on. If he was a true Geordie in a fan of the club, he would have stepped aside ages ago. He would have known, that he's not the man to take this club forward, and he hasn't done that. He's been willing to stay on, for that compensation fee. And now, that we know that compensation fee is 8 million. No wonder he was sticking on for the job, because he's probably never going to get another job after this one, with what he's done at Newcastle United. But who knows, maybe somebody else would take him in an EFL club, maybe the club in Scotland or some club over in a foreign country, might take him. Who knows, but once he leaves Newcastle United, that's the last for me about Steve Bruce and, him being at this club, to be honest. Moving on to the next comment, we've got Jabba. The energy at St James Park is going to be electrifying. You love to see it. Goosebumps, exactly. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and just can't wait to see the finished article. When Newcastle's finally got some players through the door, under this new regime, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We'll go on to Jabba again here. Another comment by Jabba. To be honest, I'm soaking in the feeling of our club being great and let the emotional time roll. Exactly. Again, well said by Jabba. We've got Paul Seals as well. He sunk He should walked away. Exactly, he should have walked away. We've got Jabba again here with one last comment. How the players reacted at the moment they found out, deal done. Exactly. There was so many players that came out, so many past legends that came out as well and reacted to it. It's absolutely mental, absolutely crazy. And I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a helicopter flying right over my house right now, and God knows who that'll be, to be honest, because the helipad's literally on the other side of the river from my house. So we have seen quite a few times Mike Ashley's helicopter fly over the top of this house. So who knows whoever that was in that helicopter, if you could hear it flying right over the house there. But absolutely crazy. It's all go, yeah, Newcastle United for us. Newcastle fans, things can only get better. Exactly, Rob, exactly. Things can only get better. So I'm going to end off the stream here, lads and lasses. And I've got to say, who would have thought, Newcastle United just 48 hours ago, we're talking about the first win, trying to get the first win of the season. And now we're the richest club in the world. Just let that sink in, just let that sink in, and let's enjoy the raid, lads and lasses. Let's enjoy the raid. If you can, hit that like button. Until next time, remember, like, share, subscribe to 100% Mags, and I'll see you all later. However, lads.